James with Birchwood Outdoors, and today I've come to answer a couple different questions about my calls. So what do I use, how much were they, and really what to do in different situations. So first things first, let's introduce you to the calls. This is the Butt Gardner Double Nasty. It was $24.99 at Shields, so really $25, $26. This is the zinc power clucker for geese. It was pretty efficient. I think it was around $20 back in the day. This is the Butt Gardner Mallard hammer. First call I really ever used. Lost a lot of these. They were $14.99 with the Mallard hammer and wood duck call by Butt Gardner. It was a combo at Walmart, so it was really my first ever call. And this here is the Hadel's Game Calls Diver Duck Calls, the DC-14. Got this at Cabela's for, I think it was another call for $24. And never used it in the field, so I don't know how ducks respond to it, but hoping for good things this year, hunting big water eventually. So let's go into the next question. How do you use these calls? So these two calls, same thing. They're your basic one kill all. Just use them all the same. This one's a specialty, for those certain ducks that don't respond to these as well. This one's for geese, of course. So I'll kind of dive into the basics of using a duck call. So the first call you're going to use is a quack. What that's going to look like is you're going to blow into the call, and it has reeds on the bottom and the acrylic part, the solid acrylic part on the top. Make sure it's always like this. You never want the reeds on top. They stick, just bad things happen. So make sure reeds are down. Once again, reeds are down. So I'm gonna blow into the back of this call and show you exactly how we're gonna make the quack. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring it up, kind of purse your lips. You're not gonna blow them out. Your cheeks aren't any of this. It's just straight through. And it's kind of like sipping a Coke bottle. If you've ever had the glass Coke bottles. So we're gonna turn around and you're gonna say wheat. So wheat, 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 wheat. So this is what that's gonna look like on this side. So that's your basic quack. Once again, that's I usually do groups of 5 every time I call. So it's wheat, 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 wheat. Sometimes if it's just early in the morning, 5 minutes before shooting light, and you kind of want everything to know, hey, like this is where I am, general area, not your hail call, not your greeting call, not your feeder call. This is what you're gonna use. You're gonna go wheat, 2 breaths, wheat, 2 breaths, wheat, 2 breaths, wheat. It's just kind of something that I've done every hunt this year, and it's paid off. So the next call we're gonna go into is the feeder call. Use this when ducks are cupped up, or if that's what they want to hear. You always want to tune your calls to what the ducks want to hear. If they want to hear more calling, less calling, different types of calling, a combination of the calls, and then they're responding in those ways. You can definitely tell when a duck is tuned in, per se. So this is the feeder call. It's a da 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 da. So da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And this is what it's going to sound like. Always make sure reeds are down. So that is your feeder call. Like I said, what this is simulating is when they're feeding. Basic, when the ducks are all in a group, you're gonna hear this, you're gonna hear quacks going on at the same time, and ducks really tune into it. So that's your feeder call. So it's just my Mallard hammer back when I had it tuned, and you can do this yourself. You can go watch a couple of different YouTube videos on how to tune calls, what different calls sound like. This used to be my feeder number one. I mean, it was so good, but I have to get back into tuning it, so not get any more. Next, let's go into the greeting call. As ducks are kind of coming, so let's say you're here, and the ducks are coming this way. They're not cupped up, they're not doing anything else. You know, they're just flying your way. You see them flying your way, and you hit a couple quacks. So, and then once you hit your 3 or 4 quacks, you can go into the it's just ta 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 ta. Really, depending on the ducks, if you just hit that one and they're straight coming in, go into your quacks, go into your feeder call. But if they don't cup up and start to kind of flutter away from those, go back into your hail call. Your greeting call. If they're butt away, they're flying, so they circled a couple times, they're flying away, this is kind of your last effort to say, hey, come back, I want you here. This is the spot you need to be. You're gonna hit your hail call, and it's slower, more elongated at the beginning than the end of the call. It's the same as the greeting call, just slowed down and elongated, okay? So this is how that's gonna sound. You're gonna go, and for added realism, sometimes if I remember and I'm not in an adrenaline rush and the ducks are just coming in, you still use your fingers. So that's your basic hail call, basic greeting call, basic feed call, and your basic quack all in one. And so let's put them all together to make a combination call. I definitely do a lot of combinations, especially on those Mallard days where they're just coming, you see them far off in the river, and you say, well, what can I do? Especially hunting public land, you gotta learn how to call quick and lure them off of somebody else's decoys or real ducks. So make sure your spread is right what you need it to be, and make sure you're hitting the right calls, because then the ducks are gonna just dump into yours and everyone's gonna be wondering, how in the world did this guy shoot a limited ducks, but I didn't. So kind of combination I use is a couple quacks, going to feeder, hail call, couple quacks, then feeder. So this is what that's gonna look like. So that's the different kind of calls I use. Oh, I forgot to mention this guy. So this guy, I kind of only know the redheads. Zzz. So, like I said, I've never used it, so I don't know how they're gonna respond. But later this year, you'll get some footage definitely of me using this and see how the ducks respond. All these calls are cheap in comparison to a lot of other calls, so definitely do that. This is your zinc power clucker. Hopefully I'm not gonna wake anybody up. But this is your Goose Call. I by no means am a professional caller with any of these, so this is not the only way people call. Goose, I've only called a couple in. I'm not the best, but definitely a solid call for a beginner. This one, I let a friend use my actual one, and this one is one I was repairing for him, so I definitely need to get back to him. But I can get mine back soon, so we'll see how this goes. Field, water, these are efficient, works, and that's really all I have for you today. I really hope you guys benefited from knowing what calls to use, uh, anything that you have feedback, just let me know. And thank you for watching Birchwood Outdoors. It's been a real pleasure getting this started for you guys, and I really hope to see you guys on a bunch of our different adventures. So once again, thank you on behalf of Birchwood Outdoors, and I am Evan James.